Hi, USPCA members. It's Larry Lynch, President of the United States Personal Chef Association, and I am thrilled once again. We ended the year with Chef Deb Cantrell, and we are starting a new year with Chef Deb Cantrell. And I'm excited because it genuinely is new year. On December 31st, I was debating, do we just say farewell to 2020 and, hope that 2021 is better? But, I think we have to do it. I think we're seeing things now that are already telling us that people's habits are changing, people's dining habits are changing, people's thinking is changing. And now more than ever is an opportunity for you to take a look at your personal chef businesses and change the dynamic, start to address what people are looking for. And you know what? There's nobody better than Deb Cantrell to help you do that. I am not going to belabor this. I know Deb. You guys know Deb. If you don't know her, you're going to know her before this is over. So Deb, you know the drill here. We've got Q&A. I'll help you monitor that. If members go down, there's a Q&A box, there's a chat box. Please try and go to the Q&A box because it's easier for me to find that. But we will monitor that with Deb and shoot her those numbers. Earlier today, we sent everybody some worksheets to work from, so hopefully you have those ready. I'll let Deb direct when she's going to need those to be done and when you need to prepare stuff, but that's all up to you guys. But I don't want to belabor this, like I said a moment ago. So at this point, Deb, it is all yours. I'll go off camera and I'll be back when you're ready.
Thanks, Larry. You're going to go get an adult beverage while you're off camera, aren't you? Now you can't say you can't agree.
I'm a step ahead of you.
I already thought that. So, hi, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your busy lives and businesses to listen to honestly what I have to say today. So everything that is on this particular webinar, I hope you'll find kind of cool and kind of inspiring, because what I want to do today is I really want to kind of open your mind up or open your world up to some things that you might not have thought about doing before in your personal chef business. It's all based upon buyer behavior and buyer trends and marketing and just kind of what we're seeing out there. So one of the things that I want to reiterate again is if you have a question, make sure you put it in the Q&A. Use the Q&A for questions only, and feel free to put those in there as I go along. I've got some slides that is certainly not death by PowerPoint. And I will answer those questions first, and some of them will go a little bit more in depth, and I'll tell you really how to get those answered as well. I don't believe in any of my webinars and my workshops that I do for culinary business owners. I don't believe in talking at you. I believe in actually giving you valuable tools and information where you actually have to stop and work on your individual businesses, because I can sit up here all day and talk about what's worked in mine, but unless I can really pull that out of you and have you work on your business. I have a culinary medicine company called Savor. In that company, we do personal chef services or prepared meals and catering for people with special dietary needs, medically necessary diets. Again, it's 19 years old. So love that business. I've had multiple culinary businesses over the past 19 years. Savor happens to be my favorite. My other company is a mentoring, coaching, and consulting company specifically for culinary business owners who want to grow. And so this webinar is a part of that. In the chat right now, you guys will find the chat in the very bottom middle of your screen. I am going to ask you to put some things in that chat. Answers to questions and things like that. So if you haven't found it, please do find it. While I am sharing my screen and getting my PowerPoint up there, I see that we have about 38 people on the call. So if you will just say hi and then tell me where you're located while I am sharing my screen with you. Guys, let's see. Let me change it to panelists and attendees. Central New York. Hi, Barbara. Thank you for putting that in there. Does everybody else live in Central New York too? Okay. Hi from Colorado. Thank you, Sandy. From Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, Barbara. Carrie Ann Arnold. Albuquerque. Hi, Karen. From LA. Colorado, Georgia. I love seeing all these Michigan. Hi, Kathy. I just talked to you the other day. Janice. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Keep putting it in there. I love to see where everybody is coming from. So let me start this. Pennsylvania, Pensacola. Hi, Daphne. Sherry, hello from Michigan. Wow, you guys are all over Rhode Island. Okay. So this was a very unique quote. Hi, Joanna. Oh, Shoshana's here. Hi, Shoshana. This is a very unique quote that I found the other day. This is somebody that I follow and is actually one of my mentors. And I thought that she said it very succinctly when she said, "What we know for sure is that the sun will always set and it will rise again tomorrow." Hi, Laura. What you choose to give your energy towards and what you choose to create between sunrise and sunset is what you will manifest. Choose wisely. I know. Hi, Gail. I know, and Shirley's here. Hi, everybody. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, you guys are a little bit scared. Some of you guys, whether you're willing to admit it or not, because we've never been here before. The one thing that I do know that you can control is your thinking and your mindset and the choices that you make in your business. Most people don't realize with what's going on in the world today that you have a choice to put your energy toward anything good, bad, negative, or indifferent. What you choose to put your energy toward from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed is exactly what you will manifest in your life. I know that that's a little bit of woo woo, but guys, I'm telling you that your thoughts, positively or negatively, will control the outcome of your day and ultimately your business. So, what I want you guys to do is, as we go through some of these slides, is I want you just to be a little open minded and think a little bit differently because I always use the expression, what got you here will not get you there. So, as we go through all of these, instead of having that committee in your head that I always tell people to fire, because dear God, do we have committees in our head? And they're not always good committees. Most of the time, they're not. Let's kind of silence those committees and all those voices in your head and all the naysayers and the negativity around you. And I want you guys just to sit during this whole presentation with the possibility of what if. Don't worry about being scared. Don't worry about how the money is going to come. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Just think about the possibilities of what if. Because what's going on in the world right now is there's a whole lot of problems to solve. Now, we can't solve all the problems, but the thing about it is there's never an opportunity unless there's a problem first. So the problem originally was that everybody was stuck at home or had to be at home. Well, the flip side of that was people needed to get food in some capacity. So, for many of you guys, what happened was you saw an influx in personal chef services in some capacity or another. Maybe they didn't want you in their home anymore. Doesn't matter. It was a problem that our particular niche industry filled. What we saw after that is then all of a sudden people got sick to death of each other, and then they wanted to have some type of an experience. We're going to actually talk about some of those experiences today because you guys are seeing things like virtual dinner parties. So if you're currently doing virtual dinner parties, all I want you to do in the chat right now is just put yes. If you have done them or you're getting calls for them, tell us that you've done them. Yep, good. Thanks, Heidi. If and you may not enjoy doing that, but it was a way to pivot. The other way to pivot was virtual cooking classes. Well, I'm going to show you guys, super fun. I'm going to show you guys today how to take those virtual cooking classes even further and those dinner parties even further. So, yes, there were a lot of problems that were caused, and I'm not minimizing what happened in people's lives. But guys, there's also a world of opportunities out there that did not used to be out there. But what happened is a lot of us became very scared and we started looking out the back window of what if. I wished it would have been that way. I wished I could go back to. I wished those things. I wished I could go back to the way that life was instead of looking out the front window of where the world was going. So that's one of the questions I want to ask you today is which window are you looking out of? Are you still looking backwards? If so, you're not going that way. It will not get you very far. Some of you guys are stuck in the driver's seat and you don't want to look out of any window. So you don't want to go forward, but you don't want to go back. So you're just stuck in limbo. Um, One of the things that I want to do with you guys today is I'm going to present from this point forward several possibilities. If it won't work in your business, it won't work in your business. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I just want to give you possibilities. Just because we say that it will work in your particular business doesn't mean you want to do it. The cool thing is you sign the front of everybody's paychecks and not the back. So that means you get to make these decisions. So, how do you think through and develop a really unique offering for your business? So, we're going to kind of talk about some things. I want to be abundantly clear. You were sent two links for worksheets. You were not sent this link for worksheets. So, Larry, when somebody asks you the link for Scalable Strategies worksheet, let them know they did not get this link. I am only using this for the data that's on this particular slide. As we go through this worksheet, I'm going to go through this particular slide a little fast because I really want to get to the meat of what I want to talk to you guys about here very shortly. So, just some things that you can do that possibly you have not thought about is if you have not thought of replicating your talent with a team, now is the time to do that. Many of you are at crossroads all the time and you need to move from behind your stove to CEO, but you absolutely don't have. You don't know how, or you don't know if you want to do that. Guys, at no time in history has there ever been chefs, very talented chefs, and people that cook out of a job. Now is the best time ever. Get your customers to buy more often. That's well, duh. But we're going to go through some things here in just a little bit about add-ons to get them to buy more often. We are going to talk about adding services to a product and a product to a service. We're also going to talk about membership sites. The membership site or subscription sites going to kind of blow your mind. Based upon that too, you can also do different certification programs. Yes, even you don't have to be a big school to certify people in things. There's a new concept out there. I'm going to kind of skip over licensing right now because it kind of goes back to certification. But there's even a concept out there for those of you guys that still cater in any capacity, even if it's a two-person dinner party. And I know that you might have had a lot of services cancel and then they thought, well, where's my money? A lot of caterers now instead of taking deposits of 50% or 25%, however you run your business, they are calling those non-refundable retainers at booking. So just a little bit of the mindset shift and a little bit of the verbiage shift, those are yours to keep so that if COVID shuts down again, in some places I know that COVID has shut you down, but the thing about it is just changing the words that you use to the client and in your contract, instead of calling it a deposit that's refundable, now they are calling it in the catering world a retainer. And it is very clear up front that they do not get those retainers back. In fact, I have moved my cancellation policy to 90 days out. If you cancel within 90 days out of your service, you get none of the money back. There's ways to create online courses. There's ways to create service plans, even from personal chef services, even though they're customized. You can actually create a membership model. National distribution team has to do with products because, again, guys, I work with culinary business owners all over the United States and Canada, not just personal chefs. So this was kind of talking about having them go more national instead of niche with a possible food product they have. The rest of this is more for that, except for the one that, and this will scare the bejesus out of some of you, buy your competitors. That's actually what I'm doing right now is I'm going to my competitors locally and offering to buy them out so that I can expand my personal chef and catering company. Manufacturer in house, we used to recommend a particular juicing company, and now we make our own juices as an add on to our personal chef services in the home. The last thing, turn a cost center into a profit center. I got tired of paying for marketing, so I expanded. I had an in house marketing person that I paid as an employee. We added another 2 people to the team, and now I offer marketing services for culinary business owners so that I don't have to pay for my marketing anymore. Those are really fast examples. What I want to get to is really this concept of add a service to a product, product to a service, or a value add. So, one of the things that you guys heard me mention is juices or smoothies as an upsell to a personal chef service. So, I kind of want to take that even further. So, in the chat, I want to know for the personal chef clients that you have, do you do more for them than just dinner? Yes or no? Jacob says, Deb, it's great. You're providing some great advice and wonderful to have your. Oh, thanks, Jacob. So, in the chat, tell me, no, you don't. Yes. Okay. More than just dinner. Yes. Smoothies and baked goods. Okay. Cookies for my athletes. No, no, no. Okay. So, yes, I provide a little for lunch. Okay. So, guys, on my food questionnaire, so my food questionnaire is all on my website. Again, the name of my company is savorculinaryservices.com. Yes, desserts. Yes, breakfast bars. Okay. So on my food questionnaire, and I'm going to tell you, it was the original food questionnaire that I got from the Culinary Business Academy way back in the day before the earth cooled. And I had it digitally put on my website. Well, one of the things on my food questionnaire is it asks, and it says which meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, smoothies, bone broths. Okay. So, what that tells our clients is that we actually do them. So, I let them tell me when I get that food questionnaire back all the things that they want. The other question it asks is how many people in your family, what day of the week is best for delivery. So, when I get that food questionnaire back, I automatically know all the things that I'm going to talk to them about and can have their chef fee ready to go instantly. But that also lets them know that I am way more than just dinner. When I talk to them, I personally, the way that my company is run, is I personally let them know that just because they have a family of 4 with dinner doesn't mean they have to have snacks for 4. If they just need snacks for the kids and lunch for mom, that's perfectly fine. I do want to let you guys know that I'm in a commercial kitchen. I've had a commercial kitchen now for 17, well, almost 18 years. So when I started as a personal chef in the home, I kind of thought that's nonsense to go into one home after another. That wasn't the right model for me. So if you guys are not adding these things, or at least telling your clients that they're available, and we still have to go back and remind our current clients. We cook for somewhere around 35 to 40 families a week. And I do have a staff, as you guys can probably imagine. I make sure that my admin reminds our clients when we send out their menu, hey, don't forget, it's a busy time right now. Maybe smoothies would help you. Just different things like that. So there's some of you guys have your own spice blends as well. Well, the thing about it is, have you ever thought about telling your clients that you do spice blends and even selling your spice blends? We add one-off things like that all the time as a gift to our catering clients or a gift to our personal chef clients. I was talking to a chef the other day that talks about how she's Italian and her clients, she's on here now, how her clients absolutely love her sauces. And I said, fantastic. Let's start upselling them, doing value adds, charging the client to make sauces for them to, have at home. Marry that if there's a local pasta company or an olive oil company in town, or there is a company that is maybe a lettuce farmer. Think about all the joint ventures that you can do together, and then you can market those different things and share each other's lists and social media. There's so many different things you can do. Karen, you asked, do you still have chefs in clients' homes? No, only for dinner parties. If it's a personal chef service and you want us in your home, that becomes a private chef offering and you owe us almost double. Hope that answered your question. Next thing. So, value add is a little bit about what we just talked about. Sorry, guys, I'm having to move little screens all around. What additional value can you add to your product or service to double your price or at least make more money? Some of you guys do some things without even thinking about asking your clients if they want more of that. We realized that by doing a gift to our clients of a snack that we made for another client, that what happened is that introduced them to the fact that we do snacks. Sometimes, no matter how many times you tell them what you do, kind of like when they hire a caterer and you go, well, we cater, right? Even though I've told you 1,000 times, we cater, right? It just reminds them of the versatility. And guys, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get rich off of these value adds, but when I started adding and customizing those value adds, what started happening is I started making a couple of $100 and then a couple of $1,000 more a month. When we book a catering, we often will ask them, can I prepare you brunch for the next morning? How about a breakfast casserole or a mimosa bar that you can add on? Because usually after a big catered event, nobody really wants to deal with breakfast or they just don't eat it the next morning or even a midnight snack. You guys will realize that instead of lowering prices to attract your ideal client, if you will do value adds, you will set yourself apart so much that you become the obvious choice instead of the other personal chef down the road that's just doing dinner. I hope that that kind of sparks some innovation in somebody out there. So let's go to the next one. Okay. So here's some of the examples that I have been giving: the snacks, the breakfast to lunch, to personal chef services, the catering example. Don't forget, like I said, to partner with other businesses too. I have somebody that I work with that I help coach that sells toffee. And I said, every time I buy flowers, there's always an add on, a candy of some sort. Like, go to the local flower shops and get on their website, and so that you can do a value add of your toffee. The other thing is, if you're a baker, then let me move my screen again. Sorry, guys. Oh, there's my cursor. So if you're a baker and you absolutely love to bake, some of you guys out there are personal chefs and then you're a baker. There's a difference in I like to bake and I'm a baker. One of the things that we're going to talk about here in just a little bit is online courses to teach people how to bake. But don't forget, people love add-ons of baked goods. I talked about partnering with juice companies and lettuce farmers to create salad kits and pasta. You guys have to understand that to expand your reach and partner with another company like this to add on a cool thing, even if it's a free gift one time to your personal chef service, that free gift now becomes a marketing tool for you, because now you get the benefit of using their list as well as their social media. So you have a whole new following now. Has anybody, if so, in the chat, anybody thought of, or have you before partnered with another company to value add to your personal chef business? If you have, put it in the chat for me. One of the best things that we ever did was partner with a lettuce farmer. Yep. And then Airbnbs. Yep. And what we did is we were able to make salad boxes. And I actually took a percentage of every client that bought one from him, and we just delivered those salad boxes with our clients, and then it made homemade dressings and vinaigrettes and things like that. So it worked out really well. Here's one of the cool things that we're discovering about memberships and subscriptions. So hang with me here. You already subscribe to a ton of them without even thinking about it. So there's BarkBox, there's Netflix, there's Spotify. There's some conversation that even your electric bill, because they provide a service and you pay them a fee every month on an ongoing basis, is kind of like a membership or a subscription. So you already are used to memberships in your life, just like clients are used to your memberships, are used to having memberships in their life. It's kind of a part of everyday life. So Jacob said, I had a market stall, I think it's stall, selling sandwiches, soups at local farmers markets. So one of the cool things about that is at a farmers market, if that works for you, it's actually really cool marketing. You may not make a lot of money there, but it gives you the opportunity to show up in front of people and kind of pull them into your space. There's a concept called push pull marketing, because so many times, because many people don't have a brick and mortar, you may have a commercial kitchen, but you don't have a brick and mortar necessarily to bring people into the space. So a lot of times to pull people into the space. So a lot of the marketing that gets done is kind of a push type of marketing. I see some Q and A's there, so we will definitely get to those here in just a minute. So let's kind of talk a little bit more about this concept. Many of you guys teach cooking classes. Well, if you've ever thought about something that you love to do or people ask a lot for you to do, think about kind of turning it into a membership. So I was talking to somebody here that's currently in the chat, and they love to teach children to cook. It is their thing. I don't love teaching people to cook, not even one onion. It is not my thing to show anybody how to cook. You guys out there that love to teach people to cook, she came to me and said, well, everybody's, homeschooling right now, and it goes two ways. Either they're looking for something to do with their kids, or they are so sick of being on Zoom all the time. Well, I said, why don't you take it the opposite? Because she was like, I am so tired of one kid after one kid or two kids or just these small groups of cooking classes. And I said, what if you turn that into a membership model to where, and it's a lower cost, and some of you guys are already freaking out, and if some of you guys left as a result of it, hang on before you leave. And I'm going to explain the concept. So as far as a membership model is concerned, instead of teaching, in this case, that one child, prepping for an hour, teaching that one child for 2 hours, 3 hours, and you make $200. We'll just call it that. I hope you make more money than that. What happens is, through a membership model, is now that 1 hour of prep work becomes, say you had 10 people in your membership at $50 a month. Now those 2 hours or those 3 hours that used to be $200 now is $500. So a membership works like this. It's a little lower cost, and it's not much of your time. Usually it's no more than one deliverable a week. In the human learning environment, or in the adult learning environment, we actually find out that people will cancel a membership because of overwhelm, because they feel guilty. So we try really hard not to give them more than one deliverable or one thing that you create to give to them more than one a month. So they say 3 is best, 4 is fine, no more than that. So maybe one of those cooking classes now, the virtual live cooking classes, is your one deliverable a month. The next month, it is a recipe for your group to try, and they have to then post the results of their recipe in the Facebook group. The Facebook group can be one of your deliverables as well. And then maybe your third deliverable is you send them a past video of a cooking class you did. You send them an article of a really famous chef that's doing cooking classes. You send them a tip on a new way to cook. Don't make this hard. These are things that you already have in your arsenal. So that's kind of an example. So now what happens is where you used to make $300 for 3 hours, now you make 500. If you had 20 people in your group at $50 a month, now you've made $1,000 for the same 3 hours worth of work, so that you're not constantly doing the same thing over and over again. If this is kind of sparking anything for anybody, could you put yes in the chat, please? Because it's almost like I can hear you guys, your wheels turning over there. So of course, yep, this is very helpful. Good, yes. But you have a question? Okay, Heidi, put it in the chat. I'm going to get to it here very quickly. You can do this with just about anything. So I know of a personal chef here in town that has done this kind of membership model for, and we're going to get to this in a minute too. She has a very, very, very niche type of market. And her niche market is specifically women that have autoimmune issues, and there's a specific autoimmune issue that they all have. Very, very niche, but you actually will sell more if you go that niche. So what she actually did is and she has a commercial kitchen. So what she did in her membership model is they get, it was 3 meals a week. It was 3 snacks a week. And then I think it was 3 smoothies. I can't remember. You guys get the idea. So 3 meals, a snack, and then something else a week. Okay. So she created a membership model around this concept, because then what happens is occasionally on top of that, now this is a little bit more than, because one of her deliverables too was that she also did a cooking class to show them how to make snacks and simple meals. She had some experts, she had some other things. The model that she charged for this, honestly, is hers was a little bit more. She charged about $500 a month for this particular model. Everybody was eating the same thing. Another chef that I work with absolutely loves to make cured meats or charcuterie. So what he started doing is he created his own charcuterie membership. 1 week, they got a particular cured meat. The next week, they got a recipe on how to use it. The third week, they got a video that he just pulled off of YouTube of different ways to build boards. They had a Facebook group, and there it was very, very active. There was a whole community. The key to this is really developing a community, because right now we're craving community more than ever. Create a Facebook group. Guys, everything that I'm telling you so far is pretty much free. Zoom is low cost and at times free. Facebook is free. So you create a community around your thing. And what the experts tell us whenever you develop these membership sites, I have been through, I feel like a PhD course on how to create membership sites. What they're telling us is most of the time people will stay for the community before they stay for the thing that you have, that you've created or is actually giving them. What if you do jams and jellies? 2 to 3 jams a month, 1 line Zoom on making a particular jam, another week a recipe using the jam, have them posted in the Facebook group for that community. The thing about it is when you teach something live inside your community, that particular class or that live can be saved as a course or a mini workshop or a class. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but that thing that you taught on can then be archived in Dropbox or all the various other things. And you can always use those later to add value to your membership. If it was a class that you did a year ago, it's okay to show them that again. The beauty of it is too is all this content now you have classes or courses that you can put on your website. And it's okay because some of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, I have to have an editor. I have to know how to do it. I have to have all this fancy equipment. No one cares about fancy equipment. You guys have seen crappy videos on YouTube that you've learned a ton from. It doesn't matter. It's the content. You can put those classes on your website, have those classes to where it's, 25 bucks to download one, or you can bundle them all together, or you can even do a whole other membership just out of the classes, the cooking classes that are on your website, and just show up occasionally in a Q&A to answer questions. There's all kinds of things that you guys can do. Part of what I talked about is people are they're craving community right now. And I know some of you guys are sitting there thinking too, if I have to go look at another Facebook group, I can't keep up with the ones that I've got going now. Well, here's the deal. If it is something you are strongly passionate about, I guarantee you go back to that Facebook group, if not once a day, several times a day. Because I see some of you guys inside the I Am a Personal Chef Facebook page commenting multiple times a day. That's your community. You show up there for them. Just like if you create a community around postpartum moms and their struggles with food and kids and, all the other stuff, I guarantee you that they're going to go there for answers, because I know there wasn't a book when I had kids because I looked for one all over the place and couldn't find one. But if I had a community, especially for new moms and even all the struggles around food, it would have been extraordinary. Here's one of the worksheets that you do have. Hopefully, and we're not going to go over this worksheet now, but this will help you think through some of those things. Do you have a process or a way of doing something that you explain over and over and over again? If so, this can become a course. It can also become part of your membership model, so you don't have to explain it all over again. We talked about the signature process. People ask you for this over and over again. Do you already sell or offer something that you could bundle together in a membership? So it could be the sauces, it could be, the spice blends, it could be some expertise around something. Some of you guys on here are nutritionists. It's very easy for you guys to start a whole membership instead of asking, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with clients paying you $150 an hour to give them advice or whatever you charge. But if you think about the things that you say over and over again, and you could somehow part that out into 3 or 4 of the most valuable things people ask you for, that becomes a membership. Pick a particular niche that you are known for. Going broad here will not work. You need a particular niche. We're going to talk about that some more in a minute. If you can somehow break up the things you do so that you can offer it in the course, I bet every single person in this group today could probably do some type of course on being your own personal chef at home. Don't be scared. It's not going to mean that nobody's going to hire you anymore. But the thing about it is people actually realize it's really hard to do and hire you anyway. But just think about if you broke down your day into steps and courses. Think about how you plan for a dinner party. What if you taught the average consumer of how to plan for a dinner party in your own home? Going back to kind of that signature process of things you do over and over again. Chef Elena, who's not on the call, but she teaches cooking classes and works with people specifically who the word that she says is differently abled. So they are adaptive cooking classes to teach a life skill. So she teaches people that are visually impaired and at times completely blind to cook so they can live on their own. She teaches people with severe autism to cook so that it's a life skill for her. Tablescaping, how to make pasta. Chef Vidam, which many of you guys know, his niche in his business is gluten free. The only food he does is gluten free. He has a wonderful offering called Setting Up a Gluten Free Home. Wouldn't that be amazing if you were recently diagnosed as being gluten free? If you knew how to set up a gluten free home. Leah says, I've done a class called Be Your Own Personal Chef at a local cooking school. So, Leah, was it well attended? So put it in the chat if it was well attended. One of the reasons, not just for the sake of disaster proofing or pandemic proofing your business, because yes, 15 or so people, that's amazing. One of the things, gluten-free house means gluten-free pantry. Nope, the whole house being gluten-free. If you ever talk to Chef Adam, he will tell you that there's hidden sources of gluten in shampoos and all kinds of other things. It's fascinating to talk to. He's a member of the USPCA. So, guys, this is about thinking outside the box, but it is also thinking about your business as it grows. I understand that what happened in this world of this pandemic is horrible. I completely get that. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell you, after owning a business for 19 years, that there wasn't some disaster that occurred in my business and I had to pivot, and I had to pivot hard. Once you can kind of learn to think outside the box, what happens is your business becomes more valuable whenever you have contracts and more offerings, and your P&L can show that you're more diverse. You also create more consistent income. Now, I am not asking you guys to do something off your brand. So, like Vidam, if he's a gluten-free chef, I would not say that he is supposed to start making regular pasta because somebody said they wanted it. I am not telling you that if you are vegan that you should start a bacon membership just because somebody asked you for it. Stick with your brand, go niche enough, and think about what people are wanting to buy from you. So this also is a way to help you stop trading dollars for hours. So some of you guys that do want to move from behind your stove and do other things but still around your brand, then this is a way for you guys to do that. We talked about Vidam. This is one of Vidam's books about going niche enough. We've kind of talked about that quite a bit. If you really want to know with your particular brand or the particular thing that you do or you're thinking about doing, I was taught this one time. Go into Google and simply type the words problems with personal chef services, in-home dining, bringing the family around the dinner table, with gluten-free foods, with vegan foods, problems with. Type in your thing and try to go niche enough. And there are people out there that will tell you the exact problem that you need to solve. Jacob says here in Canada, I think that's Canada, we're in shutdown in my area for a few weeks. I've had a few events cancel. It will be tough for disaster proof this time. Thoughts. Okay. We're going to go back and talk about that. What you need to make sure of is part of what I just started talking about. You guys have this worksheet too that will help you think through your business. You want to analyze your new idea, because what's important is, like I said, is that it's great that you have all these ideas, but you also have to make sure that they work. I'm going to let you guys read this and go through this yourself. But guys, if you want to know something's going to work, go to your ideal clients. Pick 3 to 4 to 5 of your ideal clients, call them and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What are your thoughts? If your ideal clients follow you on social media, put it out there to them. Just be careful the answers that you get back, because you really need to make sure that they're your ideal clients. Because just because you're putting something out there doesn't mean everybody's going to love it or be willing to pay for it. So you have to make sure you're speaking to your ideal clients. What I want to end with is, some of you guys know about this workshop, and I am going to answer your questions here in just a minute. I am doing a virtual workshop. If you want to go deeper with memberships, if you want to go deeper with subscriptions and courses, you want to understand how to market in the new world better, you want to understand about buyer behavior, filling all the holes in your business, the workshop that I'm going to do next week is January 21st and 22nd. You can you can do it virtually, or if you want to get on a plane and fly here with all the social distancing, you are absolutely welcome to. We would love it. We have a room that holds about 100 people, and that people will be spread out all over the room. And I even feed you if you decide to come. Either way, virtually, I make sure that it is kept small enough so that you can work on your individual business. I am not going to hammer this home too much in detail. A lot of you guys already know about this workshop, but I just wanted to make sure that I brought a workshop to you guys that made you step out of your business and work on it and not in it. Most business owners do not do that. And I wanted to make sure that you didn't just listen to my speakers that are coming ramble or me ramble. I wanted to make sure that you left there with a solid plan for growth for the next at least 6 months. We try to do it for a year, broken down according to priority. When you leave there, all the leaks and holes are filled, but you have a new way of thinking and you have a new business plan. We will go into depth, like I said, on memberships and some of the things I've talked about. Here's just a few of the things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to evaluate your income streams. We're going to build even more new revenue streams than what we've already talked about today. We're going to go in depth about not just the pandemic, but like not only where they all went, but how do you get them back and what's going on in buyer behavior. The very bottom right, the future of culinary and buyer behavior trends. Jim Herrera is actually one of my business coaches that's going to fly in. We've got different things about, we're going to do worksheets over the life cycle of your business. You're going to rate every single area of your business. We're going to find the holes. We're not going to work on all the holes. We're going to work on the most important ones. A really cool one is called The Psychology of Color. Bottom left of your screen, 2 up by Heather Sanders. She's my account manager on my marketing team, but she's going to talk about the psychology of color and buyer behavior. As chefs, we a lot of times have a problem with the sales process and just sales scripts. I've got somebody coming in to talk about that. And one of the biggest things is here, bottom right, 2 up, niche marketing techniques to attract high-end clients. That's a discussion that we have over and over and over again of how to find those high-end clients, because I hear that all the time is my income would be more consistent if I just knew where to find those clients. So the other big thing that I hear all the time is how do I hire people? When do I know I'm ready? Where do I find them? How do I manage them? How do I build them up? Just how do I? We're going to have a whole panel discussion on contractors and W-2 employees. So if you guys go on the website, which I am about to put in the chat, that's why you don't see it here. If you go directly to the link, it is $3.95. But if you see down here, there is something called webinar gift that if you put that at checkout, it will take $100 off the price point. There is a money back guarantee. Yes, there is a money back guarantee, but you only get your money back if you show me that all the worksheets have been done and you have planned out your year. You and I will have a discussion. And if you want your money back at that point, absolutely, we will talk about that. I'm about to shut this off and stop sharing my screen in the chat. I'm going to put the link. You can copy and paste that into your own browser. Remember, it is called Webinar Gift. I will put that there as well. Stephen said, I didn't know about the workshop until now. I clicked in late. Sorry about that. That's okay. Norbert, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. It says red. Is it not a retainer? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that here in the Q&A, because I'm not quite sure what you're asking. So let me stop share. Okay, give me a second.
and I'll come back and join you.
Oh, hi, Larry. So let me try to get out in show. There we go. Okay. Let me copy and paste this. Sometimes this completely messes up whenever I stop sharing screen and I go back in. It becomes just, sometimes I go to where I have this little bitty screen and I cannot see anybody. It's crazy. So oh, wait a minute.
There, it just popped up in chat.
Well, what I did is I didn't put the first part.
Oops.
I didn't copy and paste it. There it is. So did I put the, okay, we're gonna do this one more time. There it is. Okay. And then the code that you guys are looking for is right here. That's the code. So I'm moving screens around. Okay. So we need to go and answer some questions.
So let me jump in for a couple seconds, because you know me, I always have an opinion and a thought.
Sure.
You've known me long enough to know that's the case. But I was looking back at what Chef Jacob wrote about Canada a little while ago, and I was thinking to myself, government keeps telling us to shut down, and for all the right reasons in many cases because of the risk of transmission.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not restaurants, right? And so at the end of the day, I think to your point, Deb, this is the opportunity to get out there and look at other ways of getting your brand out there, to get your message out there, to get your product out there, and to be creative. And so you might not be able to go into somebody's home. You might not. And again, it depends on so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will share this, Deb, as you know, I'm up to my elbows and probably more, my armpits probably, in all this COVID stuff. And probably the next 2.5 to 3 months is going to be our toughest as we get to these couple of variants out of the UK and South Africa. But with the vaccines out there now, with the therapeutics out there now, as we get past this Christmas, January, New Year's, new variant issue, we're going to start to see things change. But that doesn't mean you have to sit and wait until we get to that point. This is where you take all those skills, the things that makes personal chef personal, and drive it out there. And so I would look at that question of, yeah, Canada, and quite frankly, Canada is no different than 3/4 of the states in the United States in terms of saying you can't go out and do something. But this is where virtual plays a role. So a lot of what you were saying tonight, I think, plays such a big piece of that. Next thing I wanted to focus on was what you're talking about with subscription. It's a great model, and it is such a big way of buying things today, because it's a case where you're making sure that you're showing the value of each of your individual offerings, but it's the sum of the parts are greater than the whole. So you're taking a look at saying, I do all these things, and you can buy them one off, or you can subscribe for X and get it for just this. Mm-hmm. And you look at major companies doing that today. Apple Plus, Disney Plus, Discovery, a lot of them are technology companies.
Right.
They get it, and that's where they're going. That's exactly what we have to be doing, is recognizing that we have to create a value proposition for all the individual things that we're doing in our business. And now's the chance to expand those individual pieces of the business to create that value proposition for the whole. So if you go subscription, yeah, you can buy these things one off, guys, but I got a great package plan. And kind of the funny side to that, as we were switching everything, I'm an early adopter of cord cutting on television. So I got rid of DirecTV and I got rid of Dish TV, and we went with Roku. And in doing that, I took a look at what are all these different subscriptions that I have, and what am I going to do with them? And one of them was Hulu, because we had Hulu Live, and I'm thinking, yeah, do I do Hulu? Do I do this? What was the other one? Dish had one, YouTube had one. I finally decided on YouTube. But then Disney came out and said, well, wait a minute, we're going to buy Hulu.
Disney Plus?
Yeah. And so we're going to buy Hulu. So I realized all of a sudden I could get Disney Plus, and for $1 more, I would get Hulu and ESPN Plus. I thought, well, I'll do that. Right. I may not watch them that often, but I have them. And this is the value proposition you can create. You can look at all the individual pieces and you're there. The other thing I wanted to share too then was that the piece you talked about in terms of taking that something that you do and creating value. USPCA had a great member, and I say had because he decided to go off and do something different, but he's still a close friend and we talk all the time here in Central Florida. And the funny thing about John, I was at an event and we were promoting USPCA, and somebody said, "Oh, there's a personal chef back there. You should go talk to him." And I'm very pragmatic in my approach to sales, and I went back and talked to John and said, "Oh, I'm a member of a different association." I said, "That's cool." I said, "Here's my card." I said, "If you'd ever like to talk, here's what we do." I said, "If you ever want to talk more about changing, call me. We'll grab lunch." But 6 or 7 months later, he called me and said, "I'm interested." He became a member, grew his business dramatically, but his skill set was in salsa. John created this incredible salsa. And he went from farmers markets and so forth, to giving out at Fresh Market and other locations. That's now morphed into a whole new restaurant concept that he's created.
Great.
It's amazing where you can go. So take those things that you just think are little one-off things that you can do and build it and see what you can do. So I just had to add those couple of things in there because now I have to dig through all the chat stuff and figure out the questions that we missed so we can go through them. I'm going to start in Q&A, Deb.
Yeah, that's where I am. I think everything's I think the first one is Amy, and how would you recommend doing value adds for in-home chefs?
I'll let you start there. There's one earlier, but start with Amy. Go ahead.
Okay. Amy, as far as the value adds, I mean, the breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, things like that will always work. But there's also, if a company wants to partner with you, say you add on toffee or you add on the lettuces or anything like that. I mean, it's very easy for that other company to, if it will hold like a toffee company, to deliver those to you, and then you take it into your clients' homes. Or, like the lettuce farmer that I was working with, he was already delivering to clients' homes. So you have to, a lot of times as business owners, we think we have to do it all. And we forget that other business owners are happy to work with us. And a lot of times we'll bend over backwards so that you don't have to do it all. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and by the way, that was the most recent question. So
okay.
I think we can take it from Amy forward.
Sue says, are you suggesting with a membership model, one deliverable per week or one deliverable per month? So no more than one per week, no more than four per month. And remember, Facebook, develop a community around it. If you deliver more than 4 a month, they say 3 is ideal. You'll go into buyer overwhelm, and then they will feel guilty and cancel the membership because they couldn't get to all the great things that you were supplying. Hi, this is Heidi. Membership in children's classes. So once a month, they would pay $50, but not getting anything live. I have a mom who wants a once a week cooking class for her kids to learn recipes. I'm in the process of writing a 6-week series of cooking classes. Okay, so perfect. No, one of the keys beyond community is you showing up live at least one time in that month. So if you're already writing 6-week series of cooking classes, then do one live of you doing a cooking class as one of those deliverables one time that month. And then maybe the next week is you send them a recipe, and then they have to create it themselves, and then they post it on in your Facebook group. So let's see. Heidi, I think that helps. Norbert says, you said before down payments now change to retainers and are not repayable. I'm still trying to understand the question for you, Norbert, in this one. So I'm going to get you to, if you're able to talk live, I'm actually going to click on answer live. So could you explain a little bit more about what you're asking? Because I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
I think it's the difference between what we would consider to be a down payment versus a retainer, and that you don't repay. I think it's terminology, Deb, more than anything.
It's terminology. It's all it is. It's just changing the verbiage to, Yeah, I think he meant about a positive. It's just changing the verbiage for to really just kind of protect ourselves, because we get very upset when consumers want to cancel and ask for their money back, your clients, not understanding how much that really hurts us. And so it's just a way of protecting yourself. So in the catering world, instead of taking deposits and using the word deposit, they are using the word retainer, and they are non-refundable.
And Deb, a good example of that, because the association does that. When we had in fact, one of the reasons I sent the survey out about the conference was because we have a pretty substantial retainer that we pay to the Hyatt Regency at Sarasota. It's not
Yeah,
refundable. So
right.
I have to manage against that in terms of the negotiations that I have with them to see if, well, will you guys extend this out? If our members
Right.
aren't comfortable with COVID, they were very helpful for us in pushing 2020 into 2021. I'm now trying to get them to push 21 into 2022. But the point is, that's an obligation that I signed a contract for that
Right.
says, here's my check, you hold this, and I don't get that back. So it's one of those things you have to be able to manage. But the idea behind it says that if all things go right, nobody can come in and drop on top of us. So suddenly we find ourselves without what we wanted. So the
Right.
idea behind a retainer is almost like insurance. And
Hmm.
it's saying, I'm going to write you a check. I'm going to give it to you if something goes south. And we do it when we buy houses, right? I mean, it's just one of those. It's got different names, whether it's down payment or retainer, deposit, whatever it may be. But it's that kind of thing that says it's kind of a guarantee to make sure that something is going to happen. I'm going to risk this because I want to make sure I get it.
Right.
And I want the Hyatt Regency Sarasota. Therefore, I'm going to be a check for X, and I'm going to risk that because I don't want to lose that particular space. Same thing here. I want
Exactly.
this personal chef service. I want this thing you're going to deliver. Therefore, I'm gonna write this, and it's non-refundable. It's a negotiating thing, right?
Well, and whenever I signed, because this is Sharpen is for the first time, it's a hybrid event. So virtual or live, you get the choice. It's here in Fort Worth, Texas, at what they call the largest honky tonk in the entire world. So somebody's riding a mechanical bull with me, apparently. So the thing about it is they were very adamant. Like, once you sign this contract, your deposit, you won't get it back. And if it's so, far up to the event, then you're responsible for all the catering and everything. So you basically can't cancel this. One of the things I wanted to say too, that guys, I always give my email out. It is deb@chefdeb.com. Chef is in the person that cooks the food. I always have to say that because everybody always asks, what'd she say before Deb? It's deb@chefdeb.com. I will answer your questions. If you email me and you have a question about the workshop, or you have just a general question at all, I promise you a debinar. I promise you, I will answer that question for you. I want to be abundantly clear though. And Stephen, I see that you're in the chat and I will answer your question. If you are thinking about coming to Sharpen, I need you to understand that it is for business owners only who have been in business for at least a year, have some type of established foundations. Do not waste your time and money if you are just starting out in this industry. This is not the workshop for you. If you are just starting out in this industry, the person you need is Chef Monica Thomas. She is the person that you need to help you get your business off the ground. This is for what we call seasoned business owners only, who want to scale and take it to the next level. Again, email deb@chefdeb.com. Steven says, I just graduated from, I'm not going to say all that, it's culinary arts, basically from culinary school. I'm new to the industry, so what would you advise me to do just starting out? Second question. My second question is, I was thinking about teaching people how to make a regular meal like spaghetti and meat sauce or baked spaghetti. What are your thoughts? That is a much, much bigger question. So, Stephen, if you will email me, I'm going to introduce you to Monica Thomas so that you can get those questions answered, and I will certainly answer some of those questions for you. That is a much longer conversation than than we can handle on this webinar, because that's a multifaceted, but I will get your question answered, that I promise.
But it's a good question.
It's a very good question. Yeah, it's a really big one. So I think we covered everything. I
I
think we
think we
covered.
did, and we did it in pretty close to our hour, which you and I usually do. We get close, which is
I
good.
know. I know.
So, so at that point, Deb, thank you as
Yeah,
always for a great presentation. I wish you. I love that term, by the way. Great success with the Debinar next week. I'm going to use that now to eternity.
the Debinar.
And I suspect you will as well.
I will. I will, guys. Just remember, it's a 2-day workshop. So, but I'm going to use Debinar from this point forward for the webinars that I'm doing. So everybody
You
say
have
thank
to.
you to us.
You
That's
have to.
awesome. I've got to go trademark that.
Exactly. You should quickly. As soon as we get off, you better be on there putting that paperwork together.
I know.
And just a reminder to everybody that we do record these, that we do publish them to our YouTube channel because it's a lot of information, great information that moves quickly. If I spot anybody, Deb, that I know we didn't get the worksheets out to, I'll make sure that we get them out to them. And again, my thanks to everybody. We're always coming with new ideas. We're open to new ideas. We got some new ones today from some of our newer members that working on for webinars. But again, as always, Deb, my thanks to you. I do want to thank Deb. We did the last webinar, and then as the holidays came and with all the things that tend to distract me, Deb went this way, I went that way,
Yeah,
and she said, I thought we were doing this. So we managed to pull this off tonight with the two of us going in diametrically opposed positions. So it was absolutely perfect. And I just got to share that even when things go wacky, you can still make them work, which is the great thing. So as always, Deb, my thanks to you. My thanks to all of our members for joining us tonight. Follow-up questions, send them to me, send them to Deb.
Sure.
We'll have something posted here very shortly on YouTube. And for everybody, good night from USPCA and
Bye, everybody.
Texas, and have a great evening all.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.